Hi there, welcome to Sharing Calm. My name's Sydney, if you have not met me before. And if this is your first time, then I want to welcome you. We're actually on day 9 of an incredible journey towards 100 minutes of mindfulness. If you want to start here we are. If you want to backtrack to the beginning, find the link to that first video somewhere in the text surrounding. But otherwise, we're going to get started just with a little discussion today at the beginning. So, something that comes with the practice of mindfulness is really kind of peeling back our outer layers to find our deepest, truest self and to be that and to live that freely without fear, without judgment, without being egotistical about it. And something that you learn about in yoga is what are called the 5 kleshas or veils of suffering. So those veils are kind of like the layers of the onion that through that mindfulness, the meditation, the inward journey, and the study of yourself and the study of yoga, you're able to kind of peel back those layers and you might come to some realizations of yourself, both good and bad. You may learn or will definitely learn a lot from it about life, about what you want out of life, about how you can be your best self in order to be the best for the world, really. And I know some of it can seem really far-fetched, especially for people I might be talking to in the Western world. A lot of this might seem like I'm trying to shove some crazy ideas down your throat, but that's not really it. So I love yoga, and one of the reasons that I love yoga is that it is ancient. It's been around for so long and it still exists today because people will and have been continuously finding so much magic and happiness from practicing yoga. And that's really the idea, is to alleviate yourself from suffering. And a big part of that comes from studying and talking about yoga philosophy, yoga ethics, and it's not a religion by any means. Yoga is interwoven throughout tons of different religions, and different worlds and different countries have kind of taken and sculpted yoga into different things, and I don't want to do that. Really, like, one of the things that I love about yoga, like I said, the most is that it's timeless. It has worked for people forever. And so I just wanted to talk about the 5 kleshas of suffering a little bit, and to break away from let's do this pose, that pose, get my handstand, headstand, this, that, and the other pose down perfectly, because that's not what it's about. If you're practicing yoga to find liberation, which is in essence just relieving yourself from suffering, living out your true life's purpose, your true life's dharma, it comes from doing the yoga poses, which help to bring concentration and kind of really just help you to delve inward more. And you can get to that faster just by stillness. So it's almost like doing the asana, the poses, is a longer path to get there. But it's harder to sit still for longer, and that's why typically you're able to get more out of it when you fully practice that stillness, that meditation, and mindfulness. Then you're able to really just sit still and allow that focus to just unsheath each veil one after the other. And then they might come back as you disappear from your mindfulness practice, and they might leave and they might come back. And that's okay, because the whole point of it is a practice. And what's this life for, really, other than finding your true purpose, right? So maybe this is a way to get to it. And for me, I have truly been able to see myself grow through practicing yoga and practicing meditation. And I can see myself starting to suffer more when I lose track and lose my focus on those practices. It's like the proof's in the pudding, seriously. Like, that is not a saying that I maybe have ever said in my life, but it's the truth. So the first of the 5 kleshas is avidya, or ignorance. And that really just has to do with ignorance, not of like stupidity, but ignorance of feeling like there's not something more, not something deeper within you with some true purpose, and just floating through life, ignorant to this like magic that literally exists within each and every one of us. The fact that we're even walking around and have all these thoughts going on in our heads, and people are able to invent light bulbs and electric cars and everything on this earth is pure magic. And where does that come from, and what is our true essence? And to ignore the fact that, and like I said, this is completely separate from religious beliefs. Your creator, whatever you believe that your creator is, created you with this insane power and magic inside of you. And if you're just floating through life thinking that your only pure job is to have a job and that's it, and have a family, then you're missing out on so much more. And avidya can mean more than that, but that's my understanding of it. So please feel free, correct me if I'm wrong, or we can talk about it more, and I want to. A lot of this stuff is new to me, like the specifics and the terminology, but it's something that you really kind of get to without even, you don't need to learn like the definitions and the words to start to understand it and piece it together through a mindfulness practice. So avidya, ignorance, that's the first veil. The second veil, the second klesha, is egoism, or asmita. Yeah, and again, if I'm pronouncing these wrong, it's merely because I've only read the words and I actually haven't had like someone speak them out loud to me. But egoism, so obviously that's going to be a barrier to you finding any happiness. If you're always going to be fighting to prove yourself as better than, you're never going to truly be happy in who you are. So that's that second klesha, that second veil, stopping us from true happiness. And the third veil, one that we suffer from greatly in the West, me seriously included, is raja, or attachment. So we are so epically attached to our material possessions. And not only that, we're attached to people in the Western world, and not just the Western world, but like we're so attached to our families. We're so attached to money and power and just everything. And like, as soon as you let that go, or that need to have this, that, or the other thing, as soon as you just let it float away, then you realize you have so much to be grateful for without needing to be attached to any specific thing. So that is something that I definitely struggle with, and something that you can come to peace with more and more through a deeper meditation practice. So the fourth klesha is divyesa, or hatred, or maybe aversion. So this kind of goes a little bit in with like the thought of like good or bad, or dualism, and or at least that's the way that I see it and I understand it. But if you have bad feelings towards someone, it's kind of like you're holding on to it. It kind of has to do with attachment, right? Because you're so grasped on to this hatred, this hard feeling, this drama, you can't let it go, and it just like sucks and sucks and sucks your energy out of you. As soon as you sit with yourself, decide that it's not worth your sacred energy. This beautiful being that you are doesn't need to give any focus to that. It feels amazing to just let it go, because that hatred isn't doing anything good for you or others. So that's that fourth klesha, or veil of suffering, that's keeping us from true happiness. And the fifth veil is really the grasping on to life, or the fear of death. And the Sanskrit word for that, which is the language I've been trying to pronounce these things. And so once again, it's kind of like, please, I'm asking forgiveness if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm just trying to share more than yoga poses. I think that's really important for me, and I hope that it's important for you too. But anyways, fear of death, abhinivesa, abhinivesa. So once again, I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. No one probably wants me to apologize too much. It's kind of like let it go. But this kind of goes with attachment as well. Just clinging onto life and thinking that that's all that you have. And if you fear losing this life that you have, then it becomes a lot harder to fully enjoy it and fully embrace it. If you become fearful that you're there's the thing where parents, if you become fearful that your teenager is going to run away and hate you forever, then you cling and cling on to them, and then it pushes them and pushes them and pushes them farther away, and it causes so much tension, and it doesn't make anything better. And that's probably a terrible analogy because I'm not a mom of a teenager and I'm nowhere close to being one, but so clinging on to anything and being fearful of losing anything, especially life, is really going to fracture your experience here. And I know that was a lot today, and I went a little bit over 10 minutes, as I have kind of every day. So at the end, maybe you'll have 120 minutes of mindfulness. But in any case, I just wanted to have this discussion aloud and to welcome you into the world of yoga that isn't just beautiful people doing beautiful poses, because that's not what it's about. It's about so much more. It's about a journey inward. It's about working towards finding the perfect balance in your life so that it's like you've got wind to fill your sails and push you along, but the waters are calm, so you're not banging against every wave as you get to it. Just moving along like the perfect day on the water. And I hope that sits with you in a good way. And if it completely went in one ear and out the other, totally fine too. Each day, I hope that you decide to take this journey deeper and deeper. And if you have some more time today, I know I've already taken up more than 10 minutes of your time, but if you have some more time to sit down and journal about these thoughts, what I'd recommend you doing is, if one of these kleshas stuck out to you as something that you struggle with, write it down. Just take note of it. I am struggling with this. And then suddenly say, I am not struggling with this. Just decide that you're not anymore and see what that does for your day. That's all. We just have one more day tomorrow, and I can't wait to see you there.